So, hi. So, today we will start this module that is logical reasoning. It's a module of a moderate category, moderate level of difficulty because the questions are like not very easy but they are not very tough. So, once you are clear with the concepts, what you can do is you can easily answer all the questions. Sometimes the questions might be tricky or confusing, so the options might be confusing. So, what you have to do is you have to be very thorough and clear with the concepts here, or how to find the answers. You have to formulate that. So if you do that, you can easily answer all the questions. You can have around 6 to 7 questions sometimes from this chapter. Also some questions will be like combining this module and the mathematical reasoning module, like areas like Venn diagrams you will have from both sides. So depending upon the question paper, you can have like 6 questions from this module. So it's very important. So be clear with, understand the concepts, be clear with them, answer the questions. Okay. So let's start by looking at the syllabus. So this is the syllabus. The first thing that you will be learning is arguments. What are the different types of arguments? What is the structure of a categorical proposition? The mood and figure of arguments. Then you will learn about the fallacies, that is the errors that you will be making when you are forming arguments. Then you will learn various definitions, meanings of a term, like in what way you define a term or in what way you give meaning to a term, the different methods. Then you will learn the very important classical square of opposition, from which one question is for sure, maybe two, but one question is for sure. Okay. Then you will learn two very simple topics, or just one slide each, that is deductive and inductive reasoning and analogies. They are very simple. Then you have Venn diagrams that will be given as a separate video, and then you have the very important Indian logic. It is nowadays one of the favorites of UGC NET. So you will have around 1 to 2 questions from this topic itself. So never ever reject this topic, learn it completely. Okay. So that will be also given as a separate video. So let's start. Let's see what an argument. An argument is nothing but it's a set of statements, not a single statement, it's a set of statements made up at minimum with the following parts. That is, you will have one conclusion anyway. Okay, what we are like persuading us to accept, like what the arguer, one who makes the argument, is called the arguer. So he is trying to persuade us to accept this conclusion. He is saying some conclusion and he wants us to accept that. We don't know whether it is true or false or right or wrong, whatever, the arguer wants us to accept that. Okay, there's a conclusion, and also along with the conclusion, the arguer will put two or more statements called as evidence, premise or support, which shows us that the conclusion is true. Okay, so there will be some premises. Normally we call them as premises rather than evidence. So there will be two or more premises and a conclusion. Okay, all these statements put forward that this conclusion is true. This may or may not be true, but these are evidences or proof for this conclusion. Okay, premises are put forward as truth, but they are not proven yet. We don't know whether that is correct or wrong, but they are said to be true. Okay, and conclusion is nothing but what we derive from the premise. From these premise we derive the conclusion, that is, we want to agree based on the premises. Okay, for example, I say all men are honest. Don't worry whether it is true or false, simply take it, all men are honest. Arjun is a man. So what I can conclude? I can conclude Arjun is honest, right? So from both of these given statements, I can conclude Arjun is honest. Whether it is true or not, that comes in the later part. Okay. See, otherwise also with a single sentence also you can put forward an argument. Sarah will properly receive a job because she has 10 years of experience. So here the premise is Sarah has 10 years of experience, and so the conclusion is Sarah will get the job. So this is the conclusion. Okay. So hope you are clear with arguments. See, we have some more examples. See, I have these three statements. Stan was driving his truck over the speed limit. Okay, if the speed limit was 80 and Stan was driving at some 100 km per hour, Stan had no excuse. He had no excuse. Like if it is a medical emergency, okay, they'll accept. He had no excuse. And also he was intoxicated. He was on some alcohol or some other drugs. Okay. So what I can say as a conclusion, Stan was breaking the law. So he can be punished. Okay. So depending upon the premises, you put forward the argument or the conclusion. Okay. Inference. Okay. Inference is nothing but you have the premises and from that you come to a conclusion. That path which brings you to the conclusion is called inference. You can say that it translates the premise to conclusion. You have the premise part and the conclusion part, and what brings you to the conclusion from this premise, this mediator or that medium is called inference. Okay, see, Ram loves Sita. You all know the Ramayana story, and Ram loves Sita, and Sita was unfortunately kidnapped to Lanka. So, okay, now Sita is in Lanka. So, I conclude Ram will go to Lanka. Why? Because Ram knows the route to Lanka, and so that he can go to Lanka. Okay. In that way, here we know these things are actually against the law. So, that means we can say that he was breaking the law. Or otherwise I can say Stan will be punished. This is the conclusion. Stan will be punished or Stan was punished, whatever. So how I am coming to this conclusion? Because all these are actually breaking the law. So he will be punished. So how you derive, or the process of deriving at the conclusion from the premises is called inference. So you are assuming it to be true. Okay. So now you have two types of arguments, deductive argument and inductive arguments. Simply if I say deduction means, we will deal with this later, anyway now I am giving a hint for you. Deduction means you are coming from general to specific. Okay, you have a general idea. As I said in this example we saw, all men are honest, Arjun is a man. Okay. See, that is a general thing, general statement is given, all men are honest, okay. From that you are coming to a specific one, Arjun is honest because Arjun is a man. So that is deductive argument. You are starting from, it is like a funnel. You are starting from a general part and you are narrowing it to a specific example in that case, okay. That is deduction. And induction means, okay, it's normally used in maths. You say 5 plus 2 is 7. You know, an odd number plus an even number is an odd number. Again, you are taking one more example. 7 plus 4, that is 11. That is also an odd number. So, from this you are concluding what? Odd number plus even number is equal to odd. So, this is induction. You are getting some, what to say, some examples or some probable examples which are probably true, and you are giving that to the whole thing. So you have for small examples you take and then you apply to the whole. That is inductive argument. So let's read this. In deductive argument, the arguer believes that truth of the premises definitely establishes the conclusion. What he says is, if the premises are true, yeah, it's for sure that the conclusion is true. Okay, if we accept the evidence as true, that is if the premises are accepted as true, then the deductive argument, that is a conclusion, succeeds and the conclusion is accepted. Okay, in deductive argument, the evidences are, if the evidences are true for sure, then the conclusion should be and will be true in any cases. That is deductive argument. In inductive argument, please see, the conclusion is probably true, then the argument is inductive. That is, you are giving some premises that are actually good reasons to say that the conclusion is true. It's like you can't completely say the evidences are true and then the conclusion is true. No, you are putting forward some evidences and telling these are true, so the conclusion has to be true. A bit of relaxation is there. This means definitely establishes. Here it is probably. So here the concept of valid and invalid, we will see that in the next slide. That is not applicable to inductive reasoning. Okay. So you can see some examples for deductive and inductive reasoning. See, deductive means I am saying the poet are honest. Okay. Then I am saying Mohan is a poet. So what? I can say Mohan is honest because we said that all the poets are honest and Mohan is a poet. That means Mohan is honest. That is deductive argument. You are deducing or you are coming to a conclusion from this. And this is true always. Okay. In inductive argument, I am saying Arun, who is a cricketer, is good in maths. Okay, Arun is good in maths. Again, Sanju is a cricketer he is also good in maths. We know this is a cricketer who is good in maths. And I saw these three guys who are cricketers and they are good in maths. I say that all cricketers are good in maths. But there might be some other player called Sachin who is a cricketer. He may not be good in maths. Okay. So there can be a case like that. But I am not bothering about that. Based on my evidences, I am saying all cricketers are good in maths. So sometimes this may be true. If there is no person like this who is not good in maths, this might be true. But actually, there are cases it might be false also. So that is inductive arguments. Okay. Next, let's see about these terms: validity, invalidity, soundness and unsoundness. Okay. Before that, in arguments, for examples, you might have seen like this: all pen are book, all book are green, like these statements. Do they have any sense in the real world? No. Okay. So these are actually valid statements, or the conclusion can be valid, but true or false. When it comes to true or false, that should be the reality based. If I say all pen are book, that is actually false in the case of a real world. Like no pen is actually book. Pen and book are really different things. So in the real world case, it is false, but it can be valid. Okay. And I am finally saying that all pen are green. This is actually false, but actually it is valid because the arguer says that all pen are book, all book are green, then all pen are or pen are green. So from the arguer point of view, the premises are valid and this is also valid, but I can never say that this is true because true and false are decided based on the reality, that is a real world scenario. Okay. Next is we'll see the definition: valid statements. An argument is valid if and only if it is necessary that all the premises are true, then the conclusion is true. If all the premises are true, then the conclusion must be true. That is, you can say that an argument is valid if only the arguments are true and this is also true. It is impossible that if this is true and this is false, I cannot say if these were some true statements and this was false, I cannot say it is valid. It will be valid only if all the arguments, all the premises are true and then this should be also true. Invalid means it is not valid. Okay. We can test for invalidity by assuming that the premises are true and seeing whether it is still possible for the conclusion. Okay. In order to test whether it is invalid or not, what you can do is you have to see whether this is true or assume this is true and check whether this is true or false. Is it possible for this to be false? That is, this has to be false. Then you can say it is invalid. Okay. We will see some examples. Sound arguments means if it is valid and contains true premises, these should be true and it should be valid. Then you can say it is sound. Unsound means it is not sound. Any other case. Okay. See, this is an example. All rings are made of diamond. Diamonds cost very less. Therefore, rings cost very less. It is valid because already I am saying all rings are made of diamond. Diamonds cost very less. Rings cost very less. It is valid. Based on these two statements, this is valid. But is it sound? No, because the conclusion is not true. It is false. So that makes it an unsound statement. See this statement: all students are intelligent. Okay, all the students are intelligent. Namida is intelligent. So can I say Namida is a student? No, because there will be some other person called Anita who is not at all a student. She may be some engineer or some teacher or something, and she can be intelligent. So can I say that that person is student? No, anyone other than a student can also be intelligent. Okay. So this is always of a valid type, that is all A are B, all B are C. If you draw the Venn diagram, all A are B, all B are C. So, therefore, we can say all A are C. Okay. So, this is valid actually. So, this is the conclusion and these are the premises. This is valid actually, but whether it is sound or not depends upon the reality. That is the truth. If I am saying this is some cat, this is some book, so I can say all cat are pen. This is actually valid. If I am saying all cat are book, all book are pen, so I can say all cat are pen. This is valid, no problem. But it is not sound, that is unsound, because in real world or reality this is false. Hope you understood that differences between valid, invalid, sound, false, true, all these things. Please have a good understanding about this. Okay. Next concept is strong and weak arguments. This is for inductive arguments. We use this term strong and weak. Strong argument means if the premises are true, then it is unlikely that the conclusion is false. It can be false, but it will not be false for almost all the cases. That is the case here. Okay, premises are said to be true, then you'll use the term no, most probably. Yeah, most probably or 99% I can say the conclusion will be true. It should be true, but also there can be some cases when it can become false. But normally it should be true. That is the case. Weak argument means that are not strong. Okay, see this example. Most Indian people have dark hair. Okay, you agree, right? We all have dark hair. Most of us have dark hair. Riya is an Indian. Therefore, Riya has dark hair. Okay, this will be like, I am not saying all Indians, it is most Indians. I can conclude Riya has a dark hair. I mean 99.9% of the time, or sometimes if any difference, or she was born abroad, or she has a gene from another foreign person, she might have a other color, but otherwise most probably or normally she will have a dark hair. This is a strong argument. The argument is strong but may not be valid, because sometimes there will be other cases, so it might not be valid. That is the most likely. As I said, most probably, most likely. See the another example. Most Indian people have dark hair. Okay, Riya has a dark hair. Therefore, I say Riya is Indian. Is it acceptable? No, Riya might be from some other places where people have dark hair. I am not getting any example now. See, from Africa. Okay, she might be from Africa sometimes, because there also people have darker hair. So, you can't conclude that Riya is an Indian from this. So, this is weak argument. There are a lot of other chances, or she might have colored her hair some brown color or dark color. Anything can happen. So, you can't conclude Riya is an Indian. So, that is a weak argument. Here means it is a strong argument. This is a strong argument and this is a weak argument. Okay. So, these are some of the points that you have to remember. Premise and conclusion can either be true or false. You can't say that a premise is valid, but you can say that an argument can be valid or invalid. So, for premise and conclusion, you can only say it is true or false. When you put it together for an argument, you can say it is valid or invalid, sound or unsound, weak or strong. Okay. Sound argument is also called as cognate arguments. Don't forget this name. Even you can be asked a sound argument or otherwise called as, and you will be given 4 options. Okay, that can also be asked. And counter example is nothing but it is exception given to this is valid D. Valid argument, so that you make it invalid. Some person is putting on some arguments and telling this is valid argument, and you put an example which makes it invalid. That example is called counter example. Okay, thank you.